Hi, everyone. I'm here with Matthew, Eric, and Nodari. Thank you for joining me back here for a roundtable Q&A. I really enjoyed all of your talks, and I hope the audience did as well. This won't necessarily be a super long panel, but we do have some interesting questions. So I think we should just kind of go ahead and start. And as for the audience, if you have any questions, also please just write in the Q&A or in the chat, and I'll do my best to try and moderate and get through all of them, or most of them at least. Because of for the first question, because all you guys are kind of techie and follow trends in very in different kind of areas, I wanted to ask first, maybe just a starting question to all of you. What are your kind of daily, weekly habits to kind of try and keep track of the latest trends in your fields? Go first, whoever.
Okay, so I will start. So I'm in tech business, mainly concentrated to offline businesses, like retailers and physical businesses. So basically, every day I check different newses, because I'm based in Georgia, and Georgia sometimes lack technological advances, and first thing, for example, happens in Europe or USA. So I mostly read every day some different news, sometimes on Medium or sometimes on Business Insider and Mashable. And also I try to every week communicate with my key clients and get the feedback from them, or share with them whatever I know, and for example, listen to their pain points, what they have, and according to that, make the brainstorming in the team and come up with solutions. So we have this kind of cool tradition every month that our team collects, and we make just random ideas and brainstorming, and what can we add to our products to make life easier to our clients in terms of retail businesses, because they are hurt so much after the pandemic. So we are kind of trying the way how offline retailers can easily adapt in Georgia, online things, and have the mixture of omnichannel marketing things. So yeah, that's if it's answer to your question. Thank you.
I'll jump in next. I have a couple of news sources that I just have through my Google Stream. I have subscribed to a few men's journals, things that are really related to my space, that I'll read articles or technical papers on patents and things of that sort. I'm also an advisor to a robotics company, and they frequently ask me some technical questions on things of that sort, so that helps me keep up to speed in terms of what they're seeing and some of the challenges they're facing. Yeah, and I geek out in nature, so I enjoy it. It's more of a hobby as well.
Yeah, for me, I work in the design field more than anything, and I stay up to date mainly through a very curated list on Twitter of design leaders. I read a lot of relevant articles. InVision is probably the #1 source of those kind of articles. In terms of daily rituals, I check Product Hunt every day for new products. I think that's a great source for me. They have a lot of good design resources as well. I find LinkedIn to be a decent source for me too. I find myself checking LinkedIn now more than I ever have, and I never checked it before. So,
yeah, I can relate to that right now.
Yeah. I've gone away from most social media, but for some reason I feel like LinkedIn has gotten more popular for me.
Gotcha. Yeah, thank you. I think we have a question from the audience from before, sorry for you, Matthew, which was, why was DeviantArt sold for so cheap to Wix? I think you saw that one already.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question. I think the short answer is that it was never built to be this massively profitable company. We didn't build it to make money. We built it to build a community, and because we never sold out the members of the community, it was tough to stay afloat sometimes. the biggest challenges we had back in the early 2000s was just keeping the site online, because server technology was not, where we needed it to be to host millions of large images. We were pushing the limits of MySQL. We were pushing the limits of a lot of things at the time. And so we spent almost all of our money just trying to build servers and keep the site from crashing constantly.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense. I hope that answered the question to our audience member. We also have one for Eric, actually from Alina. She wanted to know where are all global companies testing out self-driving cars? Like, which roads are better for this? She said that it would be very challenging to set them in the Georgian roads because of all the serpentines, high altitudes, no connection, high in the mountains, and so on. So,
today, self-driving cars like bright sunny days and smooth roads with well-defined lines. That being said, they do a lot of mapping prior to any self-driving car going on the road. So as a condition of today's limitations and technologies, we do a lot of driving before any self-driving car gets on there. We map out the environment. We also map out understanding the weather conditions and inclement weather. So there may be windows, for example, if we went to Georgia, we would know where all the potholes are well before, or any issues with the road, well before we would get on it, doing any self-driving. And then an understanding of the weather and the limitations as to where we could operate. Which is why Waymo has launched in Phoenix, Arizona. It's very sunny, very warm, very, very well mapped area, an understood area. So, and as the technology advances in terms of capabilities, they'll be launching in larger and larger areas and more densely populated areas as well.
Maybe I might have like a little follow-up question. So like self-driving cars are better than human drivers, right? So do you think then they should be subject to the same rules as humans are? Is that a little bit more of a philosophical question?
Self-driving cars are still learning. There is a lot of safety in driver assistance vehicles like Tesla that makes it a lot safer. But when it comes to full self-driving, Waymo is the leader, and I think they're about, my numbers are wrong, maybe a little off by a few months, but I think they're about 1,400 miles or about 3,000 kilometers before like an incident happens. And human drivers are at about, I think it's 100 million miles before a fatality occurs. So human drivers are actually pretty good. And we have a long way to go before like it gets there. Now, with as you know, with technology, tends to grow geometrically. In other words, we'll catch up and pass humans' capabilities here in the near term. But it's got a ways to go before it's like as far as full self-driving is concerned, before that kind of crosses that chasm.
Gotcha. Cool. Thank you. I think that's a good way to transition to Nodari, because we have a question for you. Okay. It's like, do you think attack protection methods progress as quickly as AI?
Can you repeat, please?
Do you think attack protection methods progress as quickly as AI?
I think it will. As quickly as AI with tech development. So basically, like if we talk about like retail segment, like we had today very nice speakers who were talking like how AI can change everything like in our daily lives. But I believe that with help of AI, our lives will be much more easier and structured, and we can concentrate on other things, and they will like make our lives easier, and we could concentrate more to our like personal things and our things we love to do. So I think I answered your question.
Yeah, I think so. Cool. I think we're actually running out of time already. That's so weird. I wish we had like way more time for this, because I have at least like 3 more questions for each of you guys. Well, maybe let's do maybe like a one kind of question to all of you, because you're all again like kind of in the trend, but do you have kind of like a counterintuitive, half crazy prediction about the next 5 years in your industry? What do you think is going to happen?
Okay.
If it's a bad question, let me know. I can change something else, but I thought it was a kind of a cool, interesting one.
I think we also got one question from this.
You do.
What is the book or books you given most as a gift, and why?
Oh, that's a Tim Ferriss question. I see that.
Yeah, like I will start and I will answer both questions very quickly because we are running out of time.
Yeah.
In 5 years, I think technology will take over much spheres a lot, but we will get used to living with it, and our life will become easier. And especially in retail, like offline businesses won't get out of the business, but we will have like mixture of online and offline together. Every brand will have presence online and offline together. And in terms of books, I love this psychological book called Influence, which I always give as a present. And I love psychology and people who love being in the sales or being in the business. I recommend to read this book, which describes like different types of psychology of persons and based on experiments and live examples. So yeah, that's my quick answer to both questions.
Oh, thank you.
I think for me, the proliferation of sensors and the aggregation of that data is going to just go bonkers in terms of like better sensors for better processing as well, better edge computing capabilities. You're going to see drones doing more and more. But I hate predicting the future. I'm really bad at that. As far as the book, Exponential Organization and 0 to 1, those have been great books. As far as like if you want to get into the startup community, you want to kind of understand that mindset. That those have been, I think, anchor cornerstone books for me. Both are actually a little dated now, but I think they're really good from that perspective.
Yeah, for me, so I think with DeviantArt, the next 5 years, we're going to see a lot more kind of like subscription, Patreon type features where artists can, have subscription tiers and people can subscribe to artists. And what I do for a living in design, I think there's going to be a lot more emphasis on the business value of design and really bringing design into the fold when it comes to strategy and executive leadership and those types of things. In terms of books, I think the one I gift to people the most, Malcolm Gladwell has a book called David and Goliath that I love. It's talking about being an underdog and identifying the advantages that you have when you perceive yourself as the underdog. It's just a motivating, inspiring book for me.
Gotcha. I feel like we all need those these days for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that might actually be everything we have time for. Thank you so much for coming back and joining me. As I said, I wish this was longer.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I hope everyone had a good time today and got some inspiration from all of our cool speakers and panelists. Well, to sum up a little bit, we heard about technology, progressive humanity, sustainability and fashion, tech teams, typeface, retail, DeviantArt, self-driving cars, collective trauma, and some other topics. I hope you guys had a good time. But yeah, hope to see you back tomorrow for round 2, where we have more amazing talks and workshops for everything from motion design, more AI, creativity, digital transformation, building meaningful companies. So yeah, stay tuned. Maybe join a yoga session after this panel as well, if you want to kind of wind down a little bit and get some balance. But yeah, thank you, and see you again tomorrow, hopefully.